I have another new video idea that just kind of popped in my head, and I was like, man, I really want to do that. So here it is. So it's like the I am me challenge. Like, not really a challenge. Okay, so with TikTok, products easily go viral and routines go viral. And it's easy to get swept up in new products that are hyped and viral and routines and forget about like what you like. So I feel like we're kind of in this stage in the beauty community where everybody's kind of like doing the same thing. We use the same products, we all look kind of alike, and for me beauty was to celebrate our differences. And I want to kind of highlight that again. So I was thinking we could do like an I am me challenge where we all kind of do our makeup how we personally feel we look beautiful and not what's hyped on TikTok, using products that might not be hyped on TikTok. So that's what I'm doing. Anyways, let's get into it. I am using my L'Oreal Revitalift Miracle Blur. This is the Instant Skin Smoother Original. I really, really like this as a face primer. This is definitely, it's not hyped on any like platform or anything like that. I think that it could be though. It has sunscreen in it, but I know that it's not going to be enough sunscreen for everybody. So my thing with primers is that I like it to be an extension of my morning skincare routine. So that's why I always start with a face primer and I let it sink in for 3 minutes. It's very expensive. I think I looked it up and it's like $27 now. Prices are all going up. So I like this because, like I said, I feel like it's a moisturizer, sunscreen, and a blurring face primer. That's how I like it, and I like it for that. But I feel like if L'Oreal just repackaged it into like a jar, it would be a better product because this is like so thick and like it's just like ugh, it's so thick. I'm definitely getting low on this face primer, which I love. I love to finish face primers. I'm very excited to be finishing this one. And this is not a specific brand or product or anything like that, but it's more like a specific type of product. So I always use eye primer. I think that eye primer does make a difference. I feel like people used concealer for eye primer, and I still feel like people use concealer for eye primer. Eye primer and concealer are completely different. I do think that it's going to be a personal preference, but an eyeshadow primer is designed to not crease. It's not supposed to crease. Whereas a concealer, even if you set it, it can still crease over time. So, like, I personally have found that, I mean, products are so good nowadays that you don't really run into this problem, but it's extremely possible for the product itself to crease if it's a concealer. I feel like people started using concealer because they wanted it to match their skin. Like they were basically like, because our eyelids are a very, very thin skin. So you can see more of like the blood vessels and the veins underneath. And on some people, it's very more prominent. So I feel like concealer was used to kind of cancel all those out. But eye primer, as you can see, can do the same thing. Just have to get the right shade. I am so excited about eyeshadow. So I watched Jessica Braun's recent eyeshadow palette declutter, and she was talking about how she just doesn't even wear eyeshadow anymore. And I've heard from other YouTubers that eyeshadow is dying. Why? Eyeshadow is beautiful. I am using the She Glam Chromosome palette in the shade Time Warp, and I'm gonna also be combining it with my Kaleidos Sci-Fi Green palette. So I'm very excited. I don't understand why eyeshadow is dying, as people have said. Can somebody please explain this to me? I love eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is the one thing in makeup that I just feel like I can be my most creative with. I feel most unleashed. The one product that you're gonna find a lot of people have so many of. Like, I know Allie Dawson at one point had like 500 eyeshadow palettes. I think I have close to 400. You're not going to find anybody, even a YouTuber, that's got 500 foundations or 500 face primers, 400 freaking eyeliners. Like, you're not going to find that because eyeshadow palettes are just, like, honestly limitless, but at the same time, it's kind of like brands all are always releasing eyeshadow palettes, I feel like. It's so easy. And, like, indie brands release eyeshadow palettes, and where it's at when it comes to indie brands' eyeshadow palettes. Like, this is an indie brand eyeshadow palette. This is where it's at. I just feel like because of the fact that there are so many eyeshadow palettes in people's collection, that could be why people are getting bored with eyeshadow palettes. Let me know what you guys think. For me, eyeshadow Eyeshadow palettes will never die. Like, I don't feel like I could ever go through life and not have an eyeshadow palette. I can go through life and maybe do like one and done looks. I've really been into that with like super shock shadows. Or Moira has a lot of these really nice single eyeshadows that are like nice compared to, you know, like any like eyeshadows. Like they're nice, they're single eyeshadows. Um, I could use those and maybe like one shade from my palette and blend it out. Honestly, this is the palette I use every single day at the moment, so there is that. But I could not have eyeshadow. Like I have to have something on my list. I just feel like eyeshadow is such an ingrained, important piece of makeup for me. Like, this is just the combination I'm wearing today. I can change it from day to day, and I love that the most about eyeshadow. Cream products. So I never used to use cream products, but I've been doing underpainting a lot. I never used to use cream products. When I got into makeup, it was in 2015, and I don't feel like cream products were really that big hype, but now they really, really are. I like to use cream products kind of this way, where I put them on, and then I layer powder products on top of them, because I feel like that's what works for me. I feel like I wanted to do this because I'm like, don't do the hype thing, but what is also hyped on TikTok at the moment is no foundation, and I don't have any foundation. I have a powder foundation, so I guess like I technically have foundation, but it's technically a no foundation kind of type of thing. Oh, I was just going with that e.l.f. bronzing drop. So this is a hype product also on TikTok. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I want to self tan and see if I can use this to darken my foundation up a little bit and see how I like that then. But I don't know. We'll see. One of the reasons I underpaint is because of this product specifically. It's the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Pinky Promise. I want to get that coming in hot shades so bad, but it's out of stock on their website. So what I do is I do 2 dots on my cheek. And I'm trying to keep it higher. And then I do 2 dots on my nose. I have rosacea. It's natural. It's just something that I have. And I love going in with this Laura Lee L24 brush. I've been using this so much since I rediscovered it in my collection. It's a amazing shape. Sigma actually just released a shape kind of like this that I want to get. I'm like, I want to get every single brush that's this shape because I do want to get the BK Beauty one also. So I think you can see, even with my light going off, just how pigmented this is. So you can kind of see why I wanted to layer this on bare skin and then go over it with my powder foundation, since I don't technically use liquid foundation of any kind, because it is going to look so gorgeous and so natural once I do that. It's just going to look like my rosacea is peeking through a little bit, basically. CC Camo Hydrating Concealer in the shade Fair Rose. I know, like, the triangle, like, honestly, minimal makeup is kind of like in, and I kind of do like doing this and then this, because I do use the outer corner of my concealer to kind of clean up a little bit when it comes to my makeup. Powder. It was very, very hyped back in the day, but I set my under eyes in a different way. So I'm going to go in with my sponge, and I'm going to dip into the powder. Then I'm going to basically, you're going to think it looks like baking, because it does. But I'm not. I'm not leaving it on for a specific amount of time. I'm going back into the powder again, and I'm just going to use that to blend out my loose powder. I press it into my skin. I feel like that is how I can get a very flawless look. And I need to clean up down here as well. Makeup, it does have a tendency to kind of cover up the blush and make it look like it weighs down my face a little bit. That's why I kind of cleaned up a little bit. I'm not sure if you guys can really tell, but I did kind of just go in and clean up. Next is my powder foundation. Back behind this table, and I can't get it. So I told him I have to wait until my dad gets home, because I'm going to make my dad move the whole table so I can get his stupid Spider-Man toys out. So what I do with my powder foundation is I do go over the blush. Like I said, it's just going to create a natural looking flush, and it's going to look like my rosacea is peeking through. Like it's gonna look like I either have mild rosacea or my foundation just wasn't enough to cover the rosacea, which I've been liking that look with this blush because I don't use a liquid foundation this week. That is just what I've been enjoying. Routine is kind of what I'm doing. Not kind of, but it's what I'm doing. I definitely feel like the Urban Decay Brow Blade was probably like the first brow pen of its time, and now we have so many brow pens, and I feel like a lot of people actually really liked this, and I know a lot of people really like brow pens. I am not really a fan of this. To be honest, I don't know what it is, but I'm not really a fan of it, but I mean, it is what it is. I do really like the pencil side. I'm glad I got to try it though. Like when I tell you guys my brow routine for the month, I stick to that. So even though I feel like this is a hype product and it doesn't look its absolute best on me, this is just how my brows are going to be for the month. And then I go in with a ColourPop Brow Boss Gel. I feel like everybody likes those laminating gels. I want to get into those, but I know I'm not into them very much. So maybe if I find the right one for me, I believe I purchased the Refy one and I purchased the Patrick Tall one. But I know I'm not a fan of the potted gels like from Anastasia and Elf, even though I have some. Maybe I should retry those and do some different techniques with those. But I just kind of use my brows the same way I've always done for years. Just add a brow gel to kind of hold them in place for like the color and stuff like that. I am very, very happy I pulled out this eyeshadow palette. Every time I pull out the Sci-Fi Green palette from Kaleidos, I just get so happy because I feel like the formula on this is just so amazing. I always love the look, so I'm really glad that this was the palette I pulled out for this video. Like myself, and I don't think Angelica Nikvis is ever going to follow it either, that are always going to keep eyeshadow alive. Like, I don't think Angelica Nikvis will ever not do eyeshadow of some kind because she's always doing like a colorful eyeshadow. So I just feel like eyeshadow can't die, in a way, it can't. Especially with the Yucca palette that Natasha Denona released, I feel like these color stories are very, very in right now and are kind of like definitely like I refer to these types of colors as like natural eyeshadow colors. So I could like I like it. I want to do like a new neutral, new natural type of eyeshadow look using this palette. Liquid liner, and I'm not sure if I like this one because I feel like it's very, very watery and not very black. Like I feel like I would have been better off to use the black shade from the Kaleidos palette to do my liner over this Physicians formula. Mascara, and I forget all the time that it's supposed to be mascara and eyeliner. So I'm like, I could have just used this. I need to do a video where I use it as eyeliner because the mascara itself is failing for me. I even asked her to look at my lashes when I was wearing this mascara, and she's like, yeah, that really doesn't do much for you. So for my mom to not really be into makeup and really be able to understand like the difference of like bad mascara and good mascara is crazy. But that did help me decide that I don't think I like this mascara. This is the first week that I've had it open. So I'm hoping I can dry it out and try it again. Because mascara formulas can be good when they're dried out. Yeah, like mascara formulas are actually like designed to get better usually whenever air enters in and they dry out a little bit. So I'm hoping that that is what happens with this mascara. So we'll be able to tell whenever it's in my Shop My Stash again in a few weeks. Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush. I don't think all of these are good. I had the shade Pink Flush. It has glitter and I did not like that one. I did declutter that one. But this is pretty peach and I definitely can see myself using this from time to time. This is honestly my only shimmer blush and it is very, very hyped. So I do want to keep this because I like the shade and I can see myself using it and it is a hyped product. Which I know is kind of the contradictory of this story, but I did want to let you guys know that I think that the other influencers who hype this blush up and say that it's amazing, they're wrong. It's amazing, but you have to get the right shade. It's a good formula, which is what I said about that pink blush. I was like, I can tell this is a good formula. I just don't think it's a good shade for me because it had that glitter in it. They're not all the same. Like, definitely check out Jen Phelps' video on these where she swatched these because then you'll be able to get a more accurate representation of what you will be able to work with. is not really in either, I will always use highlighter. I just need something a little bit different. So I do use that Essence blush as like a bridge between this blush and then this highlight. So I kind of top this blush with that Essence blush. If you guys are curious, that's how I got this look. Is I used this blush first and then I topped it with that Essence blush. And I'm also very careful about how I use my highlighter on my nose. I don't like this mascara. Like, don't like this at all. I swear once it dries. So next up, lipstick. So I feel like everybody is kind of into like peach because it's the color of the year. I'm into this color. So it's the shade Natasha. It is kind of a cool tone shade. I love the formula of this. It kind of feels like a pigmented, creamy like lipstick basically. Like, you know those melting lip products from like e.l.f., those Pout Clout ones? This is just way more pigmented, but it definitely like melts on my lips. This shade is perfect for me. It's kind of like a cool toned My Lips But Better shade basically. A lot of her brand, and she's doing a really, really good job. I really love this color. Can't wait to get more lipsticks from her that are like obviously different shades, but I can't wait to get more lipsticks from her. That time to let you guys know I like that formula. Very, very intense, so I wanted to let you guys see the look with and without lashes. These are the Glam Light and Michaela Potts 2 High Fashion lashes. So here is with the lashes. You can see that it just adds something that that mascara is missing, obviously. Here's the thing. I feel beautiful in all of this makeup. I feel beautiful in less makeup. I feel beautiful in the more TikTok viral makeup. I always feel beautiful when I'm wearing makeup, and that is the goal, is to feel beautiful and like express individuality with your artistic abilities. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.